Right, so this is the last topic in population pyramids, and we're going to take a look at the type of exam question that can come up in it. This was on a mock paper in 2013. I'm not sure if it's ever actually been asked at Leavenscert, but it is on the curriculum. And whether or not it's been asked, it doesn't matter, because this exercise is a really good one for consolidating everything you've learned on population pyramids so far. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go through this with you. So population pyramids, typical of developing countries, typical of developed countries, and we're going to answer that. I'm going to write brief notes on it. So this is on page 43. This one is on, oh no, hang on, not page 43. It's an old booklet, it's on page 47. 47 of your booklets, and there's a bit of space underneath that, so maybe take down the notes in there. And then the question that you're going to do yourselves is this one here. So on page 48, if you actually take this question down, and then I'm going to, there is a suggested approach there, but I'm going to go into a little bit more detail with that on you, all right? And you're going to do that essay then and type it up and submit it to me. So let's get started at this. Okay, I'm actually going to use the whiteboard to do this, so I'll need to shuffle around. Right, basically, let's look at the question. Examine the above population pyramids and discuss with references to examples you have studied the differences between the population pyramid of a developed country and a developing country. Okay, so we want to name, you want to be able to name examples of both. Now what we're going to do is just nick these examples here of Tanzania and Germany. Right, now bear with me for a sec while I organise this, so you guys be on page 47 and get ready to take down notes. I just need to move this so it's easier to type on. Alright, I'll plug you out, I'll just plug you out and then bring this down here. Making an absolute palaver out of this. Okay. Oh. It's okay. Don't worry about me. I'm fine. Right, so on page 47, what I'm going to do is get you to draw a table. It's probably the easiest way to do this. So we're going to do this pyramid at the top. Hello. This pyramid at the top. We're going to call that pyramid A. And then we have this pyramid over here, the oval one, pyramid B. Alright. Now it wants us to give examples. So let's call this Tanzania or Ethiopia. Ethiopia. Maybe I should have stuck with Tanzania because I'm not sure I spelled that right. And for the developed one, we'll go with Germany. It could be Ireland. Okay, so they're the examples we're going to use. Next thing we're going to do is name the types of pyramids based on their shape. So A is progressive, and that, as it says, is typical of developing countries, and B is stationary, and as it says in your notes, that's typical of developed countries. Right, and we're going to look at 3 different elements here, and hopefully I have enough space. So we're going to start with the base of the pyramid. Okay, and remember it's a contrast question. Okay, so the developing country has a wide base compared to the stationary country, which has a narrower base. Okay, that wide base is indicative of high birth rates, and the narrower base is indicative of lower birth rates. Okay. Now, if we could actually see figures on this, you would state the figures, but we can't. So instead, we're going to get into the reasons for why this might be. All right. So the differences are basically because of maybe the status of women in society. So status of women think it's possible that my writing is actually worse on this than it is on paper. Just when you thought it couldn't get any worse. Okay. So they tend not to continue in education. God, this is desperate, sorry. They have more traditional roles. Yeah, write small. Try to, oh my god. Sorry. More traditional roles. So get married younger. More kids. Okay. Children seen as an economic asset. Therefore, more children means greater security into old age. Okay. Now, the opposite in the stationary pyramid. So, higher status of women. Tend to continue. Can I make this narrower? Hello? I can, that might be better. Tend to continue in, did I do that? No. Education. Oh Jesus, why didn't I do that earlier? Tend to continue into education. Pursue careers. And start families later. Therefore, less kids. Also, children seen as economic burdens. So what do we want to say about that? Family planning is practiced to control family size. All right. And you should be able to develop out those points a little bit further. Okay, so that's the base. All about the base. Don't worry, I'm not going to break into Megan Trainer. Where are we going now? Okay, so the next bit we're going to look at then is the center and what happens. Now, I told you to write small, so if you're running out of space, you're going to need to add something on. So, can I delete this? Yeah. I love how this gets bigger the more violent I shake it around the place. And I love that you can just pause it and I don't have to worry about cleaning the whiteboard. Oh, there's a little spot there, Ernest. Come on, not but yet. Just be careful up here. Okay. And down here. Right. So the next one we're going to do then is the progression of it. I'll write this in a different color. So how it progresses from progression. Okay, so what happens from the base up to the top? Right, now am I still writing skinny? Yeah, I am. Okay, so this fella here narrows rapidly from base to top. Okay, this is indicative of high death rates. Okay. Especially among children. So that would be high infant mortality. Okay, on the other hand, this pyramid bulges out slightly in the center. So how do we describe that? I suppose we just say it as it is. So bulges out in center, and this would mean low death rates. Alright, and again, if there were actually figures on these pyramids, we would give them to back it up. So probably the reason for this then is it's developing country. Therefore, lack of access to clean water and availability of healthcare. Okay, and then I go back and put in a statistic. So polluted water, do you remember any of those? Is, if you don't remember it, you can just say is a major cause of death in sub-Saharan Africa. With children being most affected. Okay. Let's see. Access to medical care. Difficult. Okay. And then you could mention something about HIV epidemic. All right. And that would be in your notes from the very start. Right. However, in Germany, the opposite is true. So high standard developed country, economy, high standards of living. What else do we want to say there? Like without kind of just repeating all of the ones that we talked about beforehand, vaccination programs for children. So they're more likely to survive into adulthood. There's also what am I trying to say? Like social services available. There's a word for that I can't think of. So state provided healthcare. So access to clean water and sanitation. And also more sophisticated healthcare. Okay. You could also add in here the fact that educated, oh my god, that just looks like an absolute scroll. Mothers equals healthier kids. Yikes. Oh, sorry about that. Okay, so that is the progression of the pyramid. So that's how they differ in terms of what happens between the base and the top. Now you just talk amongst yourselves there, and I will do a bit of rubbing out. Oh god, no, clear canvas, I don't want to do that. Oh no, I just rub it out, don't I? Yeah. Nope. There we go. Come on. Oh god, these little bits annoy me now. Over here. Like when you think about all of these African countries and COVID, and you know, I've just been listening to your man, what's his name, Stephen Donnelly, on the news there, talking about the AstraZeneca Moderna, don't know how you pronounce it, vaccination, and how they're all fighting over the number of doses that they'll get. Like these guys in sub-Saharan Africa will be the last to receive any type of vaccinations at all. Okay, so the final thing that we're going to look at is the top of the pyramids. And this one again is fairly straightforward. So in the Ethiopian, Tanzanian, the progressive type of period, very narrow top, which is indicative of low life expectancy. Okay, much wider top, which is indicative of longer. It's not higher, it's longer. Should that be shorter life expectancy, higher life? I don't know. Longer life expectancy. Okay, so reasons why. Fewer people survive into old age. I suppose I'll link it back in a minute. So much bigger proportion of the population survive into old age. Okay, now this can come down to a couple of things. One of them is healthcare. So lack of access to screening programs. Hang on one sec, I just want to check something out. Okay, lack of access to screening programs that might prevent deaths at an early age. Whereas over here, there is government funded, that's what I was looking up, screening programs. Government funded, sorry, health screening. And then example in Ireland, we have a cervical check. Whoops. And what else do we have? We also have breast cancer screening. Okay, so you can give those as examples. So we don't want to repeat the points we made earlier. The other one could be to do with education. So women don't stay. This isn't the way I would go this in education. And this would adversely affect Adversely means negatively affect their knowledge about health and nutrition. And this might lead then to, ooh, yikes, can I get rid of this yoke here? No, nutrition, earlier deaths. Okay, over here, education, women, educated to a higher level, okay, more knowledge, so knowledge, so that just means concerning, healthy lifestyles, etc. Therefore, what do we want to say there? This will help them live longer. And then the last point there will be, of course, access to old age care facilities, whereas they won't have that in Tanzania, because they depend on their children to look after them. Oh good lord, I'm looking at that now, and what an apps it looks like. A spider kind of stood in ink and just walked across the page, so I hope you're able to follow that in some shape or form. If not, let me know and I'll type it up. I really don't want to do that though. Right, so let's then return to the question that I want you guys to do. So this is on page 48, is that what I said? Where's my booklet gone? Yeah, I think it's on page 48 of your booklets. Let me just confirm that, if everybody's still there. Yeah. Where do I? Oh yeah, page 48. Now, can you actually take this question down? Because I don't think it's written in your booklets. So examine the above population pyramids and discuss the differences between the structure of Pyramid A and Pyramid B. Structure always refers to shape. So when you see that, you're talking about the base, the progression, and the top. Okay? So here's how you're going to answer this. You're going to start off by stating which one, A or B, is the developed or developing country. And then you're going to identify the actual pyramid type in each one. So is a progressive, stationary, or regressive? Is it developed or developing? So you start off by saying Pyramid A, Tanzania, is a blank type, which represents a blank economy. And then you do the same for Germany as well. All right, then you use 3 different headings to contrast the structure. Okay, so the first heading is the base. So you're looking at the base of both of them and you're comparing them and contrasting them. You're linking this in with birth rates. Now, this is what we didn't do in the sample answer. Then you're talking about the figures. So, for example, right, this is the only one I'm going to give you. The base of Tanzania is much wider than the base of Germany, which would indicate Tanzania has a much greater proportion of children than Germany. And you're going to back this up with statistics. So in Tanzania, there are almost 3 million female children aged 0 to 4 and 3 million male children aged 0 to 4. This can, so that actually that's a bit complicated. So in Tanzania, there are approximately 6 million children aged 0 to 4 compared to 4 million children in Germany in the same category. Okay, so use the figures that have been given to you to show that you can read the population pyramid, and then you get into explaining why. All right, next one there is what happens towards the top. Does it narrow rapidly? Does it bulge out? What does it indicate? Give some figures from it. All right, and with the German one, what you might notice is the, if I just go back here for a sec, is the large, this kind of proportion here. Can you explain that? That'd be nice to see in your answer. Why are there so many people? Why is that such a big category there? Okay, so if you could explain that, that'd be great. So this is where we're at here. And then your third heading is going to be the top of the pyramid. So what's happening there? All right. So your approach is going to be written under these 3 kind of subheadings, and marks will be about 10 marks each. And this is where you're developing out your answers and getting your SRPs in the reason section. It's a little bit like statement, evidence, explanation that we did for map work. So this would be kind of statement, this would be the evidence, and this would be the explanation, if that makes sense. So you'll be doing this on Monday, which is your, let's see, double class, isn't it? Yeah. So I just want you to use this class, and actually you're getting no I don't, where's my camera gone? Oh, I've made me thing down. Yeah, so yeah, I'll be posting this on Monday, so I want you to take down the notes on page 47 for the sample answer, and then I want you to do the question on page 48. You're getting a catch-up day tomorrow, Tuesday, according to my emails. So this will then be due in tomorrow, Tuesday night. Sorry, it's actually still Friday while I'm recording. So yeah, this will be due in Tuesday evening. Okay. As usual, if you're not sure how to do this, drop me a line.